Yo there, how are things going, everyone? So in previous videos I mentioned the fact that natural language, or the language that's spoken by native speakers, is your key to be able to find your place amongst native speakers and be able to speak English that's, if not exactly identical to how they speak it, you speak English that's similar or quite close to theirs. And today we'll continue talking about this topic, which is talking about natural English and how your English sounds authentic or sounds native-like. I'd just like to commence this session with two pieces of advice that I have mentioned before, but there is no harm from reiterating them over and over again. And that's, you have to keep a vocabulary notebook. So as an English learner, you must have your vocabulary notebook handy with you all the time, because that's your reference, that's your teacher, and this is the mine of information that you can use, and you can jot down all the information you acquire throughout your English learning journey in it. And also, it's extremely important to consult a dictionary all the time. Get yourself a dictionary that you feel comfy with, that you like, and you like its layout and its format, and stick to using it in order to expand your knowledge in the language in general. Right, so a vocabulary notebook, a good dictionary, and then you're good to go. So collocations, as we said earlier, talking about natural English now, collocations are the main component of natural language. So collocations, for those of you who didn't watch the previous video, which I talked about collocations in, these are words which go together, word packages which are used together as a package. For example, when you have a certain exercise that you need to solve, we don't make the exercise. So the right verb to use here is not make. The right verb to use is do. So you do an exercise rather than make an exercise. This is if the exercise is for solving. But if we are talking about a physical exercise, like what you do when you go to the gym, for instance, you can say, I do some exercises at the gym. Or you take exercise. If you take exercise, this means that you practice physical exercise. So these are collocations, as you can see. These are words which go together. Not all words can go together. You don't, for example, do a mistake. So the word mistake does not collocate with the verb do. It collocates with the verb make. So you say, during the exam, I made a few mistakes, not I did a few mistakes. So you make a mistake, whereas you do an exercise. You don't make an exercise and you don't do a mistake. There are several types of collocations. Collocations can be composed, for instance, of a preposition plus a noun, like when you say by train, like when you say on foot. You cannot say, for instance, I go to work with train. That's wrong, because with and the means of transport, they don't go together. The means of transport take the preposition by. When you talk about yourself going somewhere walking, you don't say, I go to that place with foot or by foot. You say on foot. And although you're using your both feet while you walk, but you use the singular form, which is foot. So you say on foot, not by feet, not with feet. So the first type is a preposition plus a noun. On foot, by train. The prepositions are on and by, the nouns are train and foot. These are just examples, of course. Another type is an adjective plus a preposition, and that's pretty common in English. So a common mistake that I find a lot as an English teacher with students make this error a lot when they say, I am good in something. So I'm good in biology, I'm good in ICT. Good, the adjective good, does not collocate with the preposition in. It takes the preposition at. So you say some people are good at languages, not good in languages. So these are examples of collocations, which again are a very important feature of natural and authentic English. For you to sound like natives, you've got to use your collocations correctly. Another tip which is very useful when it comes to improving or enhancing your command of English is when you learn vocabulary, you learn it in families. For instance, you classify the vocabulary that you learn into topics or into families. So, for instance, when you have these words that you are learning, hot, warm, cool, cold, chilly, scorching. All of these words are relating to temperature. So what you should do is that you put all these words under the same umbrella. You categorize them in the same place, which is the topic of temperature or the family of temperature vocabulary. For another example is to classify them, for example, according to travel. If all these words are relating to travel, so words like car, taxi, ticket, aeroplane, passport, suitcase, all of these words are relating to travel. So what I advise you to do is to sort all these words or group all these words under one category or under one classification, which is vocabulary about travel. So this is the second piece of advice I'm giving you today regarding your English. Make sure that you use the correct collocations. Always consult a dictionary before you use a certain collocation. That's number one. Number two, sort your vocabulary, the vocabulary that you learn and that you jot down in your vocabulary notebook. Sort it into topics, sort it into families, so that whenever you find or whenever you sift through your vocabulary notebook and you go to a certain section of it, you know what type of words are found in this section according to the topic they belong to. The third and the last tip I could give you when it comes to learning vocabulary is using pictures and diagrams. So if you can draw, even if it's basic drawing or primitive drawing, for example, you might draw a car and then you take arrows out of the different parts of the car and you write the labels or the names of these parts: windscreen, headlight, door, wheel, window, boot, all of the different parts of the car. So if you draw a car and you draw arrows going out of the car and you label each part or label each arrow according to the part it points to. You can also use diagrams like mind maps. So you put a circle in the middle and you write, for example, the word eat, and then you take out different axes from it and you put words which are relating to eating, like meal, like food, like knife, like fork, like spoon, and so on. So using diagrams and pictures can be extremely useful to you when it comes to learning vocabulary. So to wrap up what I have said in this video, make sure that you consult a good dictionary in your English learning journey. Keep it with you. That's a portable teacher. Keep a vocabulary notebook in order to jot down all the new diction that you acquire, and make sure that you sort it into families or topics or groups so that it's easily searchable. Ensure that you use correct collocations and don't use words which don't go together. Just don't use words which cannot be used as a package. Don't do something like you say make an exercise or you say do a mistake, as we said earlier. These are wrong collocations and these hinder your command of English from reaching the standard of being authentic and native. And lastly, draw diagrams, draw images and draw pictures and highlight the vocabulary using them. That also facilitates the learning process big time. I hope that brief video was useful to you, and I look forward to seeing you in our next session. Enjoy the rest of your day, and goodbye.